Arturo Dark Knight. He's one of our best listeners. Oh, UV.
UV? Did you just say UV?
Why is there a chicken in my parking lot?
Well, howdy ho, and indeedly diddly good day to all you guys out there. What's going on? Welcome to another Hump Day Extravaganza. It's another SWGOH stream, the longest running live stream in the SWGOH community with your boy Ranger J 1999, part of RSG, coming at you live, hot and heavy on a day that shall live in infamy in the SWGOH world. Joining me is, well, if I'm Batman, he's my boy Blunder. Clayton, the Karthik is here.
Boy Blunder, that sounds pretty accurate, to be honest with you.
Because I'm Batman, and you're not. When I got these scars. That's my line. Shut up. Welcome. We got Clayton here. We got me here. We'll see whoever else shows up. But, holy Jesus. Oh, my God. You missed it.
I don't think religion can save us here.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. I need 12 Our Fathers and 30 Hail Marys. It's just, oh, boy. So, if you didn't see, we stream nearly 4 hours. Usually on Wednesdays, I have a quick lunch stream. Then I show Kenobi. And then I take a little break, get some stuff done, and then we do this show. And we cover the news, and if there's no news, Clayton, we chill, we have a good time, we drink, we be merry, we hang out with the awesome skewers in the chat, right? We just have a good day, and and they enjoy the content, they hit the thumbs up, they subscribe, they ask us questions, and then we move on, right?
Yeah.
Well, that day did not happen. So we ended up streaming nearly 4 hours looking at DATACRONS when they launched, and me and Clayton, along with Poby and Thane, went in depth looking at this stuff, and we're going to get into it. I am mildly, well, I'm very disappointed. This is a mild statement. I know Clayton is very disappointed too. We're going to get into the minutia of everything that's wrong with DATACRONS. If you're a fan of DATACRONS, respect. You're entitled to your opinion. And if you like them, cool. I don't get it. I don't know why you would. There's no aspect of DATACRON that I found positive in any meaningful way. And we're going to break this down. It's sad to say. And you guys know, we like to be fair here at RSG. I like to be fair. When CG gets stuff right, I will back them up and say that they got it right, and I'll defend them on certain things and say they did a great job. And I've done that in the past. But when they get stuff wrong, I'm going to say they got stuff wrong. And there's no way to sugarcoat this in any terms other than this is a dumpster fire of epic proportions. This is bad. This is probably the worst thing I've seen, and results are coming in. I mean, the sad thing is, me and Clayton both know some people immediately today, once DATACRONS are launched, longtime players, people in a million years that never thought we're going to quit. And it wasn't just a couple, it's been quite a plethora of people that are like, I'm hanging it up. I'm done. I'm done with this game. I can't do it anymore. This is so out of touch. I don't want to play this game anymore. This isn't fun. I don't look at DATACRONS as something fun that's going to make the game fun and exciting. They just looked at it as, this is basically more work for the stuff that they want to do. So, yeah. we're going to get into it. Clayton, I think the best thing to do is let me go through my little spiel here, and then we're going to go right through the news, and then we're going to start breaking down why DATACRONs are the fail. So hit the thumbs up, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the deal. If you like to support the content, feel free to sub. If you want to like the video, feel free to do that too. If you have questions, this is an interactive stream when we're doing it live. You guys know that. If you have questions, put those into the chat. We're going to try to answer your questions as best we can. But just bear with us. We'll get to the questions as best we can tonight, because I've been dealing with questions all day today. So we'll do that. So interact and be friendly, guys. One thing I won't tolerate is if you don't like DATACRONs and someone in the chat does, be civil. I don't want to see any mudslinging or that kind of crap. Just keep it civil, folks. And the same thing with CG, man. Like, if you're pissed off and me and Clayton are pissed off, then that's cool. But be constructive about it. It's all right to be angry. It's all right to be frustrated. It's all right to be upset. But let's keep it civil, all right? I don't want any personal attacks here or anything like that. I'm just not going to tolerate it. I'm not in the mood for that shit either. So if you're going to do it, just go somewhere else. Seriously. If you want to say honest, constructive things, you want to use some curse words, I'm fine with that. Don't have any problem with that. But if you start making it personal, then I'm just going to ignore you. So... but yeah, feel free to shit all over DATACRONs all you want. Now, let's not even hold back. Let's just get into it, Clayton. The news we had. Oh boy, so we had the update hit today, but not one, not two, not three, but multiple updates today. Things were getting broken. I'm not going to cover that aspect of the news, but there was problems with people logging in. Soft logins were happening. People were having no problems with their accounts, along with all the other bugs that are going on right now. But yeah, there were some serious issues. There's been some hot fixes that addressed them. The latest hot fix covered the calendar, which is... the calendar. I don't know what else to say about the calendar. So yeah, but let's get into the meat and potatoes of the update from our good friend Tuscan Meathead on the 15th of June, which would be today. He says, "Hi, Holotable Heroes. Today's title update introduces a new feature, DATACRONs. DATACRONs are a unique way to upgrade your entire squad with special temporary bonuses in Grand Arena Championship and Territory Wars. Each set of DATACRONs focuses on a number of factions or characters and brings those squads to the next level with powerful abilities and stat boosts. New sets of DATACRONs will roll out regularly, and during any given month there will be up to 3 different sets of DATACRONs live, each with their own combination of perks. The exhibition for DATACRONs is live. Get DATACRONs and upgrade materials from Conquest." Oh, we're going to talk about that. Shipments and territory wars, along with special logging calendars with everything you need to get started. Don't forget to reboot your client to get the latest data. See you in the holotables. And then we get to the news. The DATACRONs. DATACRONs are now available. To get you started, there is a daily logging calendar and a special inbox message with a bunch of resources to try out DATACRONs right away. See the most recent road ahead for more details. Note, you do not have to beat the treasure room to move on to the next conquest sector. Shipment visual update. There's a new look for shipments, and mod shipments now displays a mod stats, blah, 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 blah. They fixed that. Also, this kind of got pushed in the back. We forgot about this one, Clayton. The old Inquisitorious Assault Battle. Oh, boy. To prepare for the arrival of the Grand Inquisitor, the Inquisitors are hunting down Force users. A new assault battle, Fanatical Devotion, is entering the event rotation. Gather your Inquisitors and head to the events table on 6/16. We will. I don't know how far we're going to get, Clay, but we're going to give the old college try there, boy. Oh, boy.
Somewhere, I hope.
Yeah,
At least I hope it's past the Zeta tier without the Grand Inquisitor.
Zeta tier, yeah, maybe. Purge the galaxy and remember, there are things more frightening than death. Yeah. Assault battles with Inquisitors.
DATACRONs.
If they're anything like the Galactic Conquest, then I'm going to go with that.
Yay.
Bunch of fixes. You can see all kinds of fixes that came in through today. And then known issues. Visual bug. GSC ship set defense shows over 4 even with full reinforcements. An error occurs when connecting to Facebook. We already know about that. Omicron does not gray out after claiming the Conquest Rewards track. DATACRONs sometimes do not repair as a reward in Conquest after completing the battle. We found that out. I got DATACRONs today. I had to go actually look at my inventory, stuff like that. Just stuff like that.
I'm gonna feed the dogs. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it. And then general known issues can be found on the developer track. That's the news. On top of all the updates and bugs and things of that nature. So, that being said, let's get into the game because I really, really want to look at DATACRONs. I'm going to give you my 2 cents. We're going to start breaking this down for you. So I got to get into the game to do this. So we have to visualize what we're talking about here. Now you'll notice the first thing is I've got it on DATACRONs. So far I've picked up 4 DATACRONs. Now I've only been able to take 1 to level 3. We'll explain why that is here in a moment. If you're not familiar with what the DATACRONs are, these are what they are. You get I've gotten 3 from basically Conquest. Whatever I've been doing. I had the first initial one, and then I've gotten 3 so far for Conquest. All right. Now they give you enough material to take the Datacron, I think, to 1 or 2. I've used some material today to take the Datacron to level 3, just so we get to see if it's light side or dark side. I have a huge problem starting off with. We'll get in where the materials are and what the materials break down to and why this is just such baloney. Now, the first problem that I have with Datacrons. We've already talked about this initial thing, but I got to emphasize it. The fact for this to work on a team, they all have to be Relic 3. And if you get to the tiers, the level 6, they got to be, or was it 4? Yeah, you see 4 here. He has a 5 here. That means you have to have Relic 5 on the characters for you to take advantage of these Omicrons or Datacrons. And then you can see at the bottom here, you can see the 7th. That's for the character specific, whoever it is. That's the 7. So for you can unlock these bonuses, but you can't use it for those teams that don't have the Relic level requirements. That means if you have 4 at level 5 and 1 at level 4, you can't use it. That does not kick in. So you need to be aware of that. And that if you have Datacrons, make sure at the minimum, if you're going to take advantage of the first 3 bonus sets, you've got to be Relic 3. There's no wiggle room on that one. Now, the first problem I have with Datacrons is that the RNG on the stats is garbage. Straight garbage. Today, in the chat, for example, you can see the ones that I rolled on mine. I have protection, and then I hit crit damage, and then I got the... whenever light side inflict 4 debuffs, they have a 10% chance to reduce the cooldowns by 1 for each debuff they inflict. They turn, blah, blah, blah. The RNG in this is stupid. For instance, our good friend, who was it? I want to say, it wasn't Buzzsaw. Who was it? I can't remember. Somebody, their first couple rolls were all health steal. They had 300% health steal on this. Some people got some stats, some got some other stats. So the RNG on these are just absolutely bogus. There's no consistency with it. So there's no way to plan accordingly as you roll these Datacrons because they're all going to be different. Super Mace Windu, thank you. What else in the 3? I couldn't remember who it was. Just the first 3 tiers of this is a big problem because taking advantage of this on just not one but multiple GAC teams is going to really screw up GAC, and not a good way, in a very bad way. The problem I have, and we haven't even gotten to 4, 5, and 6. We haven't even gotten into the other stats at 7, 8, and 9. The more that these Datacrons get leveled, the more crazy the stats get with them and the abilities. The one that really drives me crazy is at level 6 is when you get the faction. So if you get the dark side one right now, it'll be for Inquisitors. If you do light side, like this one is, I can either get Galactic Republic or I can get Resistance. But they all get retaliate, which means every time you do 20% damage on these suckers, or you do damage, you get 20% of that right back at you. Which is just ridiculous if you look at all the other stats that are on here with these Datacrons. It is absolutely stupid. And that's not even including what we've already talked about in the past when we saw the stats for these Datacrons. Ray's ultimate is ridiculous. JMK with this is ridiculous. It is really out of control. This is just, I don't know what they were looking at. This is going to make GAC a nightmare, but TW a thing of horror and legend, because I don't know what TW officers are going to do in TW now. With this many Datacrons running around, and depending on what people spend and what they work on, you can't really plan for a damn thing. The counters that you guys have spent all this time working on, let's say someone has the Ray one, the only chance you have against a Ray Datacron is either JMK or a Ray Datacron. Nothing else in your inventory is going to be able to take that down. You can try.
You got to beat her to the alt, which is like, you
Almost
might
impossible.
get lucky on Starkiller.
Yeah.
Maybe. But if she gets to alt, she'll probably just destroy you.
Yeah.
Or it'll be terrible banners.
I mean, this is... Oh, God. The stats on these things are way too much. Way too much RNG. And it completely nullifies everything we spent the last 6 years doing. Mods, levels, relics, everything. Because everything that I worked for to get my C after a certain point so I could at least try to take on Rays. And it's not a guarantee, right? It's still a tough fight. You know, if it's Finn and then it's still a tough fight. It can lose. But I just got him to 200,000 health and got him modded and used all the materials and got him to relics and did all the stuff that I was supposed to do. Well, forget that crap, because now my Star Schmiller team, my Palpatine team, all my teams are basically hosed, because now we've got Datacrons. And Datacrons with the Ray or Obi-Wan basically makes it I could put one in the north and one in the south, and if I don't have one in the counter, there's nothing in my roster that's going to beat that. Not a chance in hell. Nothing. So that's just the stats that we're seeing from these. The one for Super Mace Windu, hell still, if he gets the Kenobi one that allows him to ignore protection and stuff, he's going to one-shot players like that. There is no GL you're going to use, you know, as fast as he's going to get to his ultimate, that it's going to allow you to beat that team. And this is the problem I have with Datacrons. It's just the stats alone, first thing. First, you have to have the relics to take advantage of the stats. You have to have the teams to take advantage of the stats. And then the stats are outrageous. I mean, Clayton, this is bonkers. This is absolutely frustratingly bonkers.
Yeah, well, the fact that you can just sit there and mess with it so much, like, yeah, will it take forever to perfect it? Sure, but there might be somebody who's willing to pay that much money, or can you just get it out the gate? Like we were just talking about earlier, we saw how they're going to calculate in the Datacron stats into the characters before.
Tell them how that works.
Yeah, it's absolute fucking bullshit. So the Datacron stat boost, so the max health, max protection, all the two important things that we're going to get out of this, that gets factored in before the battle starts. So characters like JML, if you roll the high end, like 7 and 8 can roll up to 20% protection bonuses for that character. So basically you're going to add, essentially, you could add 2 more protection mods to your JML, add another 50% protection throughout the entirety of the process here. I mean, you're going to bring his protection pool to astronomically high levels. You're going to add another. So let's say if you add 50% protection, I think this is even factored in after the mods. So I don't know if it's based off the base.
Stats,
or if it's
mods, then Datacrons.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, does Datacrons work off base or does it work off max?
What
did I send you?
So it started by level starting gear. Then mods are applied and they become the new base stats. Then Datacrons are applied.
Yeah, so after the mods, they become your base stats, and then Datacrons modify those stats. So like GLs, like let's say you get 50% extra protection on the next set Datacron, which is the Jedi and Rebels. So you get another 50%. Like my JML is 150-ish K protection, so that would put him to 225. Okay, so the 225 protection, I mean, so it doesn't factor in his the relic levels don't factor in for the damage from the stupid inherited teachings.
Right.
But 225 at 0.6 is still going to be. Oop, that's the wrong way to go with that. It's going to be like 150K damage. on your inherited teachings. Like that's going to delete characters, a lot of them. Like if you go with your JML team, like you're going to turn in, no matter how invested that LV team is, that if you put LV on defense with a full Relic 9 team, a Lord of JML with the Datacron shaped up like this, we're not even talking about the bonuses that they'll get for their alignment of the faction and the character. We're talking about just the raw stats he'll add to the character. Like he is gonna just tear through. Like you're gonna one tap Darth Vader. You're gonna one tap Thrawn if it's there. You're gonna 1 or 2 tap the freaking Maul that's there. Like you're just gonna blow the team, and like it doesn't matter if you have a full R9 Lord Vader squad, which that would be pretty hard for a JML to beat normally. Like no, you were just able to get a couple of good protection rolls on that Datacron, and now you're gonna destroy them. Like it's not even a good amount of fun or fair.
No. I don't know what you do. I mean, the only thing I can think of is I can't afford to put any Datacrons on defense, because if I run in one on defense, and even then on offense, it depends on what stats you hit for that Datacron.
Yeah.
You know, because they're going to have different stats and different things that they're going to be allow you to do.
Well, and they're penalizing the crap out of you for re-rolling those stats too. That's what I find hilarious.
Yeah.
It costs as much to re-roll the individual stat levels as it does to re-roll the faction alignment or character boosts, which is ridiculous. Which, because I feel like half the character and alignment and faction stuff isn't nearly as good as some of these stats could be under the right team. You know,
right.
Think about a Padme team with plus another 50% health. With Cat, you know, like.
Oh, God. Oh boy.
But I mean, like we were talking a little bit on the VIP stream, so we were crunching some numbers. Between buying the battle pass and the
let me get the conquest. All right.
Between buying the battle pass for the for conquest and the red crate materials, you will only get about 40% of what you would need to take one of these Datacrons to level 9. So after 2 weeks of reward, you don't even get enough to take up a single Datacron. You'll get 4 Datacrons, I think, throughout the pass, but you'll only get enough to take one Datacron. Like you might get it to level like 5 with the conquest rewards. So not even all the way there. The reroll materials are, I feel, a little bit more generous. They're you get quite a bit more, and you theoretically wouldn't be re-rolling everything multiple times. Hopefully you just wouldn't care so much, but you might need to, depending on what you get. So you get enough to re-roll the lower stuff a couple of times, the mid stuff a couple of times, and the high end stuff a couple of times. You know, that's kind of where that shakes loose. But then we were doing the math on the data cache currency. So I actually had Sig pull up the chart for me, and I actually sent that to you already. Bless his heart, he actually responded pretty quick to me. I didn't think he was going to. So literally in Sector 5, it's the only zone where they give you earn up to 100,000 data cache currency per win.
Right.
If you get the currency for the win, but the minimum is still 37,500. So we did if you take an average of 60K, which is the high end for the first 3 sectors, and then about the middle of it for Sector 5, it would take you 125 battles to get enough data cache currency to take one Datacron to level 9. Not including if you got lucky and got good rolls on all the other shit you need for it. That's just the data cache currency. Like that is just so much grind. Like that's almost as many battles as you need in Conquest to finish that event. Like it's asinine. The amount they're gating the resources right now is just absolutely asinine. Players would be tickled if they could get one level 9 Datacron by the end of the month. I don't know what they're going to give out from TW right now, but from what I'm seeing, if TWs don't offer the other 60% for the 4 wars you do that month, you're gonna have to spend some sort of currency, either ally points, shard shop, or actual crystals to get a level 9, and that's one, and that's if you're doing it free to play. Anybody who spends in this game, they're gonna just blow you out of the water because they'll have a dozen.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If somebody spends, you're in trouble because they're gonna have a market advantage. Now, if you go to the stores itself, there is a DATACRONS store now, and you can use the different currencies. However, good lord. So if you want to, you can spend 600 crystals to get 3 million for DATACRONs. That's a lot of crystals for credits. Okay? And the reason I say that is crystals are a commodity that is really tough to get in this game. It's better than it was, but I mean, people that are working on characters, gear, and other stuff right now, like someone in the chat said, they're mid-tier player. I can't afford to do any of this because I'm working on a Galactic Legend. What do you tell players that are working on Galactic Legends that want to do well in GAC? Tough titty, get what you can, hope for the best. They're not going to be able to spend 600 crystals. You know, these other stuff, you look at it, you're like, okay, 100. But these Acumen Mark 1s for 500 for crystals for 100, those go by quick when you're using 50 for tier 4 and tier 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the fact that you basically need you need 210 to get one to the level 9.
Right.
So it's like the amount of I haven't even done the crystal amount to max them out yet. I'm afraid to do that math. It's not going to be good because it's like 600 credits for 3 million.
Right.
So that's 6, 12, 1,500 credit crystals just for the currency. Let's see. Then Discordy, because that's the faster answer. Let's see. You said it was how many for 50 or 100? It was 500 for 100.
500 crystals for 100.
So let's just call that 1,000 for that one. What's the Mark II cost?
Let me go back. The Mark II. So the Mark 1s, okay, the Mark 2s for 50, for 100 is 800.
800 for 100?
Yeah, Mark 3.
And you
Mark
need
3 is 1,200. And then you
100?
have, then the alteration ones are 50, it's 250.
Oh, that's 1,200 for 50. That's not 1,200 for...
Oh, 1,250. Oh, yeah, 1,200 for 50, sorry.
So 2,400 for 100.
Right.
So oh my... 1, 2, 2, 7, 7... So yeah, do you want to know the depressing news?
Yes, I love depressing news.
It'll cost you 10,000 crystals to level 9 one Datacron.
I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't recommend you guys do this. I'm just doing it for the content, for the lulz, just so we can show this on the screen.
And that's not even talking about re-rolling. That's just to level it up.
Right. So I'm going to go take my next Datacron. Wait, didn't I just get the... I thought I bought a million... Thought I did.
No, you didn't buy any of the data cache.
I didn't get the data cache? Alright, I'll go back there and get the goddamn data cache. Because that's what I love doing, is spending my stuff on data cache.
Thought so.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Let's see,
All
Ranger
right.
said he needed...
I think I've got share currency. Yeah, I can spend some of that. All right, so there we go. We got some data cache. We got some stuff. I barely got enough here to take this sucker to level 4 now. It takes 500,000 plus 30 of those plus 45 of those. Now I just spent crystals for one unlock. Let's see what we can do. Level 5. Okay. I got protection. Okay. Again, now look, I need 15 more of these now.
And that's a pretty good protection roll, though.
Oh, God damn it. So you can see that this is a huge resource drain because there's no way that you're going to be able to, You're not going to get enough from Conquest. You're not going to get enough from TW to equal one Datacron. You're going to have to make a conscious choice to invest resources outside of your stuff you're already working on to get Datacrons up. The biggest thing is the actual materials, and it's the data. What's the total? It's 7.8 million data. 7.5 million data cache for one of these to go to level 9. Not including any rerolls, not doing anything else, just to take one. Just take what you get and then and go for the gusto here.
Yeah. Yep. That's
I
it.
mean,
That's all. I would say, unless you get absolutely lucky, and I mean like just tits McGee lucky, and you pull everything you need for that Datacron. Datacrons are looking between, I would say, a $70 and $100 purchase to either to get it leveled up and then to fine tune it. You're looking at basically a vault of crystals for every single Datacron you want to work on. And that's only every 2 days too, though, because you have to wait for the store to refresh. And yeah, no, it's not good. I don't like any of that. That's all poo-poo.
so now I need more of the materials. I still need 1 million of the cash just to see what just to see what faction I want to unlock. Now, I don't encourage you guys to spend. I'm doing this to show you what it will take.
Science.
So far I've gotten 15% protection. Crit. Actually, I've gotten 19% protection and crit damage. Okay, great. Some people are getting health steal and all the other stuff. Now this one unlocks. This mechanic only does one thing. It unlocks a mechanic for one: Galactic Republic or Resistance. So you're either going to get Galactic Republic, or you're going to get Resistance, and you're going to get something associated with that. And I think it's this is the retaliate, right? This, when you get to level 6, is where you get the retaliate function, which I cannot stand.
You have a chance to get it, yeah.
Oh, it's one of the things in there.
It's one of the things in the faction bonus is the retaliate.
Yeah, so I might re-roll that because that's too good not to have.
Exactly, and that's what they're banking on. They put one in there that's really good to have, and they're just gonna go, well, keep trying.
Yeah.
See if you get it. Would you like to roll slots? Because this is what you're going to be doing.
Would you like to know more? Click here. The other thing too that really drives me nuts about this, Clayton, that these are temporary. I'm using all these resources for our temporary mechanic.
So let's put it this way. If you were to look at this logistically and say you need 5 Datacrons from this set to power up 5 teams well. So 2 for Resistance, 2 for Galactic Republic, and I mean you could really do more than 2 for Galactic Republic. Well, we'll just say 5. And then the 1 for the Inquisitorius team, because there's only one team you can make out of it anyways. Take those 5 Datacrons to Relic. I mean, might as well say Relic 9. To take them to level 9, you're looking at spending, a solid $500. That's it. You're not getting, and you get nothing out of it, and it'll be gone in 2 months later,
Right.
or 3 months later. I mean, it'll be gone. It'll be out of your inventory.
Now I just used a little bit more resources, got some more data bucks, got some more stuff, but you're seeing how I'm going to use crystals here. After this level is unlocked, bonus mechanics on lower levels can no longer change which alignment or faction they are unlocked. All right, screw it. Let's go for it. All right, unlock to level 6.
Send it.
Bonus mechanic for resistance, so I got the resistance one. When an enemy is damaged by expose, all resistance allies gain 8% turn meter, and they have a 40% chance to reduce their cooldowns by 1. Good lord. So now if I wanted to re-roll this, I could.
You have the mats to re-roll it?
I don't have the mats to re-roll it, but if I do get the mats to re-roll, I could re-roll it, which I probably will.
I mean, you get that at a couple conquest levels too, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm just showing you guys what it takes to do this stuff. It is absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
For a temporary buff that completely destroys everything that we worked on in this game. There's nothing positive or anything I find remotely good about any of this stuff. I mean, this is completely disconnected from the reality of what we are facing in this game. I think the biggest thing too is that the problem that with Datacrons is you're wanting us to use resources on this stuff, which you kind of have to if you want to be somewhat semi-competitive in this game. But a lot of people don't have the resources to do well in GAC and TW. Problem is, you just spent a buttload of resources, and you're already using resources that are tough to get your hands on anyway to get these characters up. It's basically, it's destroyed your counters. It's destroyed everything you know. It's completely thrown everything on its head. It's completely negated everything you've worked on at this point. It comes down to what these Datacron stats are for what team, and then what you can do with it. I mean, I don't know how else to put this. I sound like the guy from Billy Madison, says Alexander Bryan. In fact, in none of your rantings and ravings, CG, did I find anything coherent. We are all now dumber for having listened to you. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. A simple no would have worked.
So yeah, Kaya, that's what I was saying earlier, is that you don't want to re-roll the fact, unless it's a faction you don't want to upgrade. You don't want to re-roll that until you lock in your character at the end, because then that middle one can only roll for the faction that the character's at the end. So then when you re-roll both, you're only going to re-roll GR bonuses. So you're not going to have a chance to flip back to resistance at that junction. But yeah, you keep your original one. So if you like that, if that one becomes the best option out of the two other re-rolls, then yeah, you get two other options and then you can select between one of those.
I don't get it, man. I don't get this.
There's too much RNG with the Datacrons. The stat spread should be a little flatter. They should not be such massive ranges, because it's just asinine where they are. And it should really there should be a difference. Either the levels unlock a different stat at each level. So what do they have? How many mechanics? How many things do they have for the Datacrons? They have 7 stats to roll from?
Yeah, it's chance to health 1 to 5, protection 1 to 5, crit damage, potency, tenacity, and health still.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6. Okay, well there's 6. Okay, well that lines up with the 6 rolls that you get on the way up. Why can't each one of those just be one of those stats? Why does it have to be a chance for each one? Why can't we just get? They will eventually get all these stats. Let's average them out between the two, because 7 and 8 are a lot higher.
So I'm looking at those right now.
So
7 and 8 unlock health 10 to 20% more, protection 10 to 20% more, critical damage 20 to 30%, potency 40 to 60, tenacity 40 to 60, health still 175 to 300% if you hit it.
Yeah. Like, really what they should do is they should level out the range between the tiers, everything, and then just make every tier unlock a specific guaranteed stat, and then let it roll between a range. Like, let's say level 1, you roll between, let's just say 10 to 20%. You roll between that. So if you want more health, you can re-roll it. But if you are okay with what you landed on, all right, fine. But that way you're not going to get, all 6 of these as protection, or roll all 6 of them till you get protection. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, I don't understand why they put so much RNG into these things, because it doesn't make sense. There's no reason for it. We don't need to make GLs even more insane by adding, potential. Let's say if you max it out, there's a potential for 120% bonus protection, or not bonus, but additional protection between the 6 different roll options if you got it all. Like, some characters, that would be asinine levels of protection increase. Like, that's just insane. Like, you could spend thousands of crystals to make that happen. Like, I just feel like that's just such a dumb thing for them to do. They should just minimize the RNG and just let people roll them up, and then have them usable for the factions that are there. Because they either need to do that, or they need to drastically increase the amount of resources we're getting. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
Conquest reward box should be giving you enough to take 1 to level 9. It should not be a half measure. And
It's not even half. It's not
is.
even half measure. It's like 35 to 40% of what you need for one Datacron. Math says so. It takes 7.5. You get 2.8 for the red box. That's if you're even getting the red box.
Yeah.
And for the reward, you get enough to do 40% of a Datacron.
Yep.
That's it. And that's not just the red box. That's including the red box and including everything that you get through doing the conquest. That's it.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I just don't know whoever came up with this concept is totally out of touch with how, and just disconnected from what this game is about and what we have worked so hard for in this game. It really bothers me. This is really bothersome, man. Because, when you look at what we have to go through, I'm just going to pull up one of my teams, that I had to put together. And the team that I'm really proud of is, of course, there it is. So why isn't that pulling up? I like that team. What the hell? So we have my Fennec team, if I can find the damn thing. So the Fennec team, right? This team that I worked on here. This team, if you look at the relic levels and everything that I had to put on this team, let's say Lord Vader gets a Datacron. Fennec ain't beating that. Even if I get a Datacron on it. Unless it's a crazy match. The other thing, too, with these squads, these GLs ones, ridiculous. And I don't know what they're going to do, too, because the thing about Datacrons, which is really out of touch with this game, is a lot of times we use mix and match teams. Starkiller, unless they come up with some kind of crazy thing for a Datacron, is dead. It is just dead against GLs. Well, if it's got a Datacron.
Think about this already. We already can put a Datacron on Lord Vader with the current setup, because we can do a dark side. So imagine if a Lord Vader team had this dark side alignment Datacron. Whenever a dark side ally inflicts at least 4 debuffs in their turn, which he inflicts 2 per character, unresistible, they have a 10% chance to reduce their cooldowns by 1 for each debuff they inflicted that turn. So basically, he's just going to run around and force crush the crap out of you. Not Darth Vader, but Lord Vader, whatever that last ability is. And then when he uses that ability, he's gonna just do. I mean, every turn he takes, he's gonna probably reduce his cooldown, because he's gonna hit. That's at least 10 debuffs. So it's 100% chance he's gonna reduce cooldowns by 1.
Yeah, it's not just. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, because the thing is, if you can just go dark side, you don't even have to go to the faction tag, which is Inquisitors. You can just go to level 3, relic 3 for your SLKR.
Or 5, one of the two. Yeah.
Yeah, Lord Vader, right? Put that in there. Don't get the level 6 one, right? Don't get the Inquisitor tag, and you can put those stats on your GLs. And are you kidding me?
Yeah. Or hear me out and get the Inquisitor one and slap Lord Vader in front of the Inquisitors.
Yeah, put Lord Vader with the Inquisitors.
Retaliate, bitches.
Enjoy that. I mean, this is bad, man.
Yeah. You're gonna push with a little to no effort. You're gonna push GLs out of soft counters indefinitely for the next 2 months. Like, you do not need to put a lot of effort into Lord Vader, Sith Eternal, or Supreme Leader Kylo, and you could make them ridiculous, and it would not be fun for anybody.
No. This is so out of touch. I keep saying that, but it's just you look at the reality of what's going on in this game, and it's like someone who, people say CG doesn't play their game, and I know that's just nonsense, because they do play their game, but I don't think they play it at the level that we do, or entrenched in it the way that we are, or understand the mechanics and what works and what we want. At the end of the day, this is a collection game where we just collect our favorite character, because our number one Our most important thing that we love about this game is that it's Star Wars. It's got the tag. So when we see these characters from the shows and the movies, we like to play them. We like to just, veg and hang out with our friends and talk about this and do this stuff in the game with the community and things of that nature. And, whether it's GAC or whatnot, we like to use these characters and modes at the end of the day. And, but what this game has become is become a stats game. It's not about the characters. It's about mods and rolling mods and doing that stuff and the relic levels and the Datacrons. I mean, it's not, it's like, who gives a shit about, like, that I'm using Cara Dune? She's got a relic 9, or she's got a level 9 Datacron with the Momo team.
Which that looks terrifying too.
Oh yeah, the 25% turn meter. And they also talked about that they don't want to have, the cycle thing come back. The endless
infinite
cycle.
loops. Yeah.
Infinite loops, right? Well, that's going to happen.
Yeah, with very little effort, people have already found ways to make infinite loops, and it's just like, why? Like. It's like if the second they move, if all they have to do is mod like one character, like mod your freaking Mara J to be just stupid fast, throw on the Dark Datacron where she gets like the cooldown reduction, like she could be literally spamming her abilities like at a rate where there'll never be a turn where she has to use her basic.
Right.
Like that's asinine. Like Palpatine's gonna do the same thing. Well, I'm gonna just shock. Oh, I got your. There goes your stupid. I'm gonna just get. Oh, yeah, just everything. Everything's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it for anything.
And the problem is too is like when you think about this in GAC, they're trying to make this more diverse. Whatever, this is not making it more diverse. It is basically haves and have-nots. We've already talked about, again, not in touch with what's going on in the game. There's becoming more and more a discrepancy in levels of people with what they have for GP characters and stuff like that. Imagine people that are in the mid-tier that spend a little but just cannot get the Datacron levels that you can at a higher tier. And you basically win by putting one character and one team down. They can't do a damn thing about it. And you blitz them. I just, and then the resources are just ridiculous. I mean, and people, I understand CG's got to make money, but this is blatant. This is really blatant. And you can try to tell me that it's not. I hate to tell you this, it is. Because I don't know where you're going to get the resources other than you're going to have to spend money or resources that you've already hoarded up. And
well, it's like, let's just put it this way. Let's say that the average light spender to free to play player will have the luxury to be able to level 1 Datacron to level 9 within the month you're allowed to farm Datacrons. And then let's say that you go against a player who is willing to spend, $100, $1,000, anywhere between there. That player let's say they just had the 5, so they've spent $500 over the course of the month to max out their 5 Datacrons. That player can either lay down some GLs that you will not be able to beat unless you keep, your best stuff available, and turn some of their C teams into just absolute nightmares. And like when you're talking about players that are at 6 million GP, that are going to fight players that are in the 9 million GPs, those players are going to have a much larger roster to slap Datacrons onto that you don't have the luxury of. Like if you don't have JMK at this level or that level, but you have Ray. Okay, so you go get the Ray one. Well, if you get a second one that's Galactic Republic, it doesn't do any good if you roll JMK there because you can't use it. But again, it's the relic lockouts. It's even a more tone deaf part of this whole mechanic. We wanted to fresh up the meta by strengthening out of meta teams. Yeah, but then they have the balls to say that it won't disrupt your farms. It's like, but yeah, if I want to use that team, like let's say you get the Rebel one for next month and you happen to have CLS at Relic 5, but everyone else has low relics. So if you want to use that Datacron, you have to get your CLS to Relic 7. You have to get the rest of your team to Relic 5. Like it's like if you want to use the Datacron at all, if you're lucky enough to even max one during the time you can farm, you have to invest more shit into the game. Like, it's a never-ending cycle of just bleeding you further dry. And like we talked about earlier today, why aren't they doing anything to alleviate that gear crunch or that resource issue? Like, all we're doing is just adding more problems to solve, and we're not adding any solutions.
Yeah.
And it just drives me batty. I don't like it.
I mean, that's the thing too. Yeah, that's a big issue. You want players to have these characters at certain relic levels, yet you make it almost impossible for them to get the resources, and we are hurting badly for resources. Yeah. So, I mean, and then so if they have to use what resources they do get to work on relic levels and other things of that stuff, how in the hell are they supposed to use those resources for Datacrons? Yeah. Oh, they have to spend. Well, the vast majority of the player base does not spend. They spend some, but they, there's the free-to-play players, and then there's also people that spend some. What's their motivation to spend? You're not incentivizing them to spend.
No. You're incentivizing them to quit.
Yeah, a lot of players that we know of have said, I'm done. And me and Clayton have basically closed our pocketbooks. I mean, Clayton's not spending. That's a 10 million account. I'm a 9 million account. You just lost our money. I'm not spending on this crap.
No.
I know by not doing that, me and Clayton both know we're going to get destroyed in GAC with the level.
Yeah, next week is going to suck. I mean, I did it today for a little bit. I put some crystals down. I wanted to test some stuff out. I just kind of wanted to see what it was like to get my hands on it, because that's what I've been waiting for since they officially announced DATACRONS. Like, I wanted to play with it. I wanted to see how bad it was, and then I've got one level 8 Datacron. I spent about 6,000 crystals a day buying the shit out, trying to get it leveled up. And I'm already looking at this going like, well, I mean, cool, but like, I'm not doing it again. And there's after we did all the math, we looked at all the stuff that you get from in the game. If I'm lucky on the free-to-play side of things, I might get another one, like mid to high level, by the time that the event ends. But that's the thing that's stupid too, Ranger, is that the insult to injury here is that when this month closes out, all the currency that we gain for this Datacron set goes away.
Right.
You can't get more. You can't level up further. They get locked out at wherever they're at, and you just go to the next one. So there's no way to improve it next month. It just goes, you were only one away. Which, I mean, I believe is entirely intentional. It's designed to get you to panic spend, because you're only one level away from level 9. Just spend 2,000 crystals to buy out the materials so that you can take it to level 9 before the lockout ends. Like, that's just asinine. That's just so predatory. It hurts.
Yeah. The sick thing is, this is the thing that really pissed me off today. So I go to my Datacrons. I had start off with the 1, right? I've already picked up 3 new Datacrons. I can't do a damn thing with them.
No.
I'm getting Datacrons faster than I can get the material to do anything with them. How sick is that? And this is just early stages, and I'm going to get more along the way. So I'll have plenty of Datacrons, but if I want to do anything with them, sure enough, not from events, I'm going to have to spend to get the Datacrons up. And the store's on a 2-day cooldown on purpose, so that you have to keep spending your crystals and stuff like that. And that is absolutely insane. I mean, this is bonkers on a level I've never seen before. And I'm starting to see tons of players leave. I mean, this is like I've seen some like things happen. We saw it with Mods 1.0. We saw it with Relics. We saw small group of people leaving. This has everybody just fuming, and there's a lot of players, more than I've ever known, just dropping the ball and quit. We just had a couple RSG folks mention like, I'm out. And I never in a million years thought that I would ever see that. Because we've been through the good times and the bad. And, and the thing that really pisses me off is that there's no wiggle room on this. They said, whatever happens, you're stuck for 3 months. Who does that? You launch a product and you say, well, we'll wait after 3 months to see what the results are. Yeah. Whoever heard of being proactive in the thing? It's like, with SLKR, when he first came out, after 2 weeks, you could see that he was really struggling. He was really bad. And you immediately fixed him a week or two later and gave him the speed and stuff that he needed to compete with the Rays that were out there. So I know CG can be proactive. But to give me this bullshit that they're going to let 3 weeks and just, let it wear out and see what happens. How many players do you need to piss off with this before you say, maybe we should step in a little bit earlier than 3 months before we start, doing something about it?
Yeah, it sounded like the only thing that they would intervene on immediately is if it caused a uninterruptible infinite loop. It sounded like that was the only thing I got today that said that would be the only time they would take intervention, is if they caused an unintended, uninterruptible infinite loop. But outside of that, they're like, if we create a comp that's too strong, well, I guess you got 2 more months of fighting it.
And that's insane. And that's not even that's 5v5 with this shit on. This shit's going to apply to 3v3 too. So if you think Datacrons are OP with 5v5, wait till you see them in 3v3. You thought they were bad now? Wait till 3v3 comes around.
Yeah.
You think Ray and JMK with this shit is going to be OP with 5s and you're going to struggle against it? Wait till you get those 2 teams in 3s. Ray in 3s, if you have the Datacron, unbeatable. Unbeatable. I don't know what you use, because when you get her with the GLs, and I don't know why they included GLs in this. I don't get why GLs are included in this. It's like CG said, what's the top meta team right now? Kenobi and Cat. Hold my beer. Let's make it stronger. Like, what?
Yeah.
You mean the top team, the top defensive team, the 2 characters that really most people are not complaining about? You started to go with these Datacrons, and you're making these 2 GLs OP as hell? I mean, if you guys have not seen it, the 3 GLs that we've seen so far, JML, JMK, and Ray, are redonkulous. They are absolutely redonkulous. I mean, they will destroy stuff. And the counters that are done. The only way you're going to be able to beat a GL in GAC is to have the same kind of Datacron level, and then it is a complete shitstorm because you don't know what their stats are and what they're trying to do and what you're trying to do, and that's not what we want. It is not what we want. Then you tie this into TW. We haven't even talked about TW yet, Clayton.
Yeah. I don't even want to.
I mean,
as my guild TW officer, I do not want to even think about it.
I mean, this is
so bad.
This is so freaking bad. We had a thing in a few years back where it was CG would pick a team and they would add all these crazy bonuses and stats to it. It did not go well. Nobody liked it. But
like Mace Windu one-shotting Sith.
Yeah, the one thing though that we gathered from that it was somewhat manageable, although not very, is that it was one team.
Well, it was the same for both sides.
Yeah, it was the same for both sides, all things equal, plus, it was just one team you had to deal with that had the bonus.
It was annoying, but manageable. This is ridiculous on a brand new level because there's nothing you can do. You have to investigate every single roster to see which Datacrons they have, which bonuses they have applied, how many GLs that makes really hard to beat. Because like some of these like Ray and JMK stuff, if you don't have a Ray or the JMK for offense, you're not beating that.
No.
So now you have to start going through. Okay, well you like 20 guys having the guild, so we got to keep 20 JMKs on offense in case we see those, because otherwise we could get screwed. There's just so many things you have to account for that are just asinine.
And that's not even talking about, we were talking about the stats. Yeah. That's not even including what the Omicrons bring to the team when you have those Omicrons as a part of the team too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the Datacrons and the currency change every month. So It's not even this. You can't even keep leveling things up after the fact. Like once you run out of currency, you're not going to get enough unless they happen to sell it again in a store, which I'm doubting. It doesn't matter if it's free. It's absolute. I mean, they're drip feeding it to you. I mean, almost worse than drip feeding to you. It's like almost giving you a drop of water in the middle of a freaking desert, and then waiting another 6 hours. It's just stupid because you're not getting enough in game. Like you might might get enough in game through the course of the month to take one Datacron to level 9 for free.
Maybe.
I don't care if it's free. The fact that if somebody spends, they can outclass me by miles. Like, a second Datacron is already ridiculous to level 9. But if someone gets 5 or 10, they're willing to spend $1,000 just on Datacrons each month. Like, that is insane. They're gonna you go against that roster. I don't care what account you have. If you have one Datacron, the 10, you're losing that round of GAC. Put your trashiest teams on defense. Pray you can clear their offense. But you're gonna lose in the efficiency fight.
Yep.
And it's like, and that just seems absolutely stupid that you pigeonhole players out the gate to just take the L's. And this literally has turned every PvP environment into those who spend will have the indefinite competitive advantage. Oh, the old TW was free.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the currency. Screw the currency.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, Nathan just said he's taking a break from the game.
Yeah.
Another one.
Another one bites the dust. I mean, they're done. They're done with this shit. You know?
Pretty bad bug. Plagueheart says he posted a pretty bad bug in Discord.
Did you? Okay. Let me go look here. Where did you put it?
It's in the SWGOH chat. You're about to log into the guest account for blank at level 1. You wish to return to the previous account, log into the game center through the iOS settings. So is it forcing you?
Yeah, there's been all kinds of bugs with this, so.
Hi, baby girl. Are you screwing up my house? Huh? Are you screwing up my house?
All right, let's get to some questions here so we can keep the conversation going. Tumblr Dry says, question, how do I get the Galactic Challenge stun feat?
I think I answered him already.
Did you? Okay, good. All right. Wolfell, what's going on, Big Wolf? This question, without the leak, would Datacrons be received better, worse, the same? They dropped this as without the leak, it would be 10 times worse, in my opinion. They made it worse than the leak made it seem. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of such subjective, you know.
I think the feedback would still be the same. It doesn't. The knee-jerk reaction here is not the fact that we knew about Datacrons and we thought they were going to be worse than this. It's you start compounding the issues of what is available, which didn't change a lot. Besides, the only thing we know that is slightly different is the relic requirements. Not the relic the relic requirement. So we don't need an R9 to activate JMK, which, you know, okay, cool. But everything else is pretty much the same. So it's just the compounded problems here. Like, this is just so, it's just such a huge resource drain on players.
Yeah.
For no positive game, it appears.
No. It's not. It screws up JC. It screws up TW. You have to spend more time in Conquest, which we've talked about in this show ad nauseum. People do not want to spend that amount of time in Conquest. And then even if you do, even if you do all the feats, the extra feats and those extra bonus slots, they do not give you enough material to make a dent in what you need to get these goddamn things up. You want players to get crumbs on these things because the RNG is so bad, and not give them enough material. This is just poorly done. This is a poor release. I'm so frustrated with CG right now. You know, I mean, I expect better, man. I expect better. You know, and there's been a lot of good stuff that they've done of late. I mean, the characters have been fantastic. Grand Inquisitor, we don't know yet, but I mean, it's hit and miss. You know, some have been awesome. The Starkiller stuff was awesome. You know, but you know, you go through the ebb and flow of this. This is like bottom of the barrel. I don't know what the hell is going on with this shit. You know, it is really put this game in a place that it didn't need to be here. See, this is the thing that really pisses me off. We didn't need this. We didn't ask for this. You put this out here. It is fundamentally not connected with anything related in reality of what people want in this game, need in this game, or want to do in this game. And that's the thing. You create this mess when there was no mess to be created. Period. So, you made your bed, you go sleep in it. I mean, Jesus. That's the most frustrating thing. I shouldn't be talking about this nonsense right now. We should not have Datacrons in this game right now. This is not what we needed. This is not what we wanted. This is not why we play this game. You think I enjoy farming shit, not characters, and playing with the characters? You think I love spending time trying to get resources? That's what I play this game for, to fuck around with resources and try to figure out stuff and numbers and things? That's what you think this game is? That's where you think the fun is? That's what you think while we play this game? You really think that? You think that this is where I come in and log in? I'm thinking, God, I can't wait to fuck around with mods today. Oh, I can't wait to do Datacrons.
I can't wait to get my 125 battles in Conquest so that I can hopefully level up one Datacron today. Ugh. I mean, you're talking about so many. I mean, what is it? 20 battles a day for 3 refreshes. So, yeah. So 5, 6 times 3. So you're 18 to 20 refreshes to get enough currency to not, and you're not even guaranteed in that many battles to get enough mats.
Yeah, that's
to level it up.
That's what you get on the RNG on the mat material that you get.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, it's gonna cost you 900 crystals just to outright. Like, that's on the same bar as just buying the currency outright. I mean, not quite. It's a little bit worse to buy it outright, but still. Like, you're looking at spending between 900 and 1,000 crystals in refreshes just to get enough currency on fighting those nodes. Let alone the materials you need to upgrade the damn thing. Like, that's what when we got to the first sector node, when I saw the chance to roll between 1 and 5, that's what really started pissing me off today. Because it's like, it's not enough that the number is abysmal to start with. You need, like, the first tier needs 10, the second tier needs 20, then 30, then you keep going up and up and up. Like, why is it so low? You need so much of it. Like, if you take the minimum, it's gonna take you like 30 fights to get enough to go to like level 3. Like, that's stupid. And that's if you get it every time. You might get the other one. You might get 30 Datacrons and nothing for leveling shit up. It's all an option. Like, the numbers here are based on getting the things you need every time you fight. You could get skunked because instead of getting currency, you could just get Datacrons.
I got that today, remember?
I know, and that's a possibility. You just keep getting Datacrons. So it could take 200 fights to get enough currency to get one Datacron to level 9. Like, do you understand the level of asinine that is? It already takes 200 fights to get through Conquest. And you want me to do another 200 fights in Conquest to level up one Datacron? Like, are you shitting me? Like, why do you take a game mode that's already a massive time sink right now, and then you're like, let's make it better by making it substantially worse? Like, maybe if they cut down the energy usage for those nodes, because we got to farm them, maybe they increase the amount of shit we get out of them, or guarantee drops for everything. Progressive as you go down, you get better and better guaranteed drops. No, it's all shit. I mean, I sent you the table from SIG.
Yeah.
Like, it's crap. Sector 5 is still paying out garbage. And that's the thing, it's not even paying out. It's not even paying out.
Like the Sector 2 doesn't even give cash. It just gives the materials. That's how bad this is.
Yeah.
Possible rewards. You can get those. Not cash, just those.
Well, it's the 2 crates. So the other crate gives you the cash.
Is it?
Yeah. The other crate
Oh,
gives
there
you
you go.
Datacron.
Okay, I
So
misunderstood.
every
I was like, what the
tier
hell?
has a crate that gives a Datacron or data cache, and then every
right.
tier
Okay.
has you drop some sort. Now, the farther you go down, they do have like, so in Sector 5, the first box also drops the Acumen Mark III, which is kind of poop too, because now you have another thing competing for. You can't get to it. I'm just looking at the table from SigSig.
Yeah, just get to tell people what's in there.
So you have the 3 options in box 1, which is Datacron, Currency, and the Acumen Mark III, which again is the second needed stat. You need the Mark II the most. And then the other box has the alteration, has 3 alteration mats, and then the Acumen Mark III as well. So you have 4 in that one as well. But you only get 1 of each. You don't get everything. Like, that's what I don't get. We're in Sector 5, and we're not increasing how things are doled out at all. You're not rewarding the players for even getting to the damn last node. You're punishing them by giving them more options to take things away from what they're. And then granted, I'm not there yet. I can't verify. I haven't put hands on this. This is my assumption for what we see in the previous sectors. So if I'm wrong later, I'll take it back. We'll figure it out. But from what I can tell right now and extrapolate from what we see, it's just such a stupid thing that you're going all the way through Conquest. You're spending 2 weeks in this event. They're giving you reason to keep playing Conquest, or logging in and using your energy after you've beaten it and maxed it out at 630, which still takes 10 days anyways. Then like, oh well, use the last 4 days to grind out Datacron stuff. It's like, it's not like you can grind out and get a couple of Datacrons to at least level 6 or anything like that. Like, you have to be spending so much time to do that. Like, I don't understand why they're rolling anything. It should just be flat amounts. There shouldn't be any RNG to it, and it should drop everything. Like, there's no reason to gate this so damn hard. Like, as scarce as the numbers are, like, if the numbers were bigger, all right, yeah, I get 1. But then it's like, I get 15 on an attempt, not 5. It's just so asinine. It's just designed to drum out the players and make them spend.
Yep.
Like, you either spend or you get your 1 Datacron for the month. You pray to God it's not terrible, and you hope you've got a team that can use it. Because if you don't have one of the 3 teams that it's available for, what do? You got a Datacron, it doesn't do you any good. Sit there and kick rocks. Have a good time.
Let's see here. Now that we know, it's from Nenner Wilson, now that we know how Datacrons are now, would you want the crystals from Fleet to stay where they are or move to TWGC? They better not touch crystals out of Fleet till we get some consistency in this game.
If they touch the Fleet crystals, I guarantee you there will be a mass exodus of proportions they have never seen before.
Right.
Because you literally all the mid-range players are looking at getting their GAC crystals just hamstring next season because they didn't wail on getting their freaking Datacrons. Like, you're going to have players where Fleet is their only chance for consistent daily income.
Contingent 33 question. What was the reason they had to change the way the shipments are displayed? I see zero benefit to it. I don't know. They wanted to change how it looks.
It was probably to make the mod stuff work better, to be honest with you.
Probably.
They changed the UI for 1 and then just updated everything.
Yeah. I was like, let's do it like this. I don't know. Dr. Feelgood, how about now? Hashtag RSG blame Finn. That's true. Johnny Moran question. What if I just hoard up the Datacron stuff till they roll back on nerf this like mods did first? Well, 1, you'll get destroyed in GAC and TW. 2, you'll lose it all. Because it doesn't carry over, right? Once the next round comes and you get to start from scratch, is how I understand this, Karthik? For the
so when the month ends for farming, they lock you out of being able to get Datacrons from that set and the currency from that set.
Okay.
So you can keep probably upgrading until you run out of currency to use.
Okay.
My guess, they won't throw it away. My guess is they'll just be like, well, you can re-roll like 1 more time, and then that's it. You're screwed.
Evan Buckler question: do you think Datacrons will increase the popularity of the AP games, JC defense, no squad defense, default teams for offense, let shifts decide the rounds? No, because if he doesn't have Datacrons to fight the Datacrons he's going to face, and I know where he's at with Kyber, he's going to get stomped. I don't care what he has. If he does not have the Datacrons to fight the Datacrons on defense, you're hosed. I mean, that strategy's out. Nathan H. question: what does Darth Kermit think of Datacrons? It's treason then. Fatality V2 question: do you think if the backlash is so severe, CG would revoke this crap? I don't know. It'd have to be pretty harsh. History shows that CG is pretty stubborn about this. I mean, I don't know what it would take. And I said earlier that if they decided to say, because I think they should pull it and say, hey, you know what, we tried this, and I'm okay that they tried something. They were trying to think, they missed the mark. Hey, you know what, no harm, no foul. You tried something, it wasn't good. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's rethink this stuff a little bit and say, hey, apologies. Hey, I would be cool with it, and I would defend that position. But history shows that when they do stuff, they're just all in. You know. They
double down before they retreat.
The problem is that they've the sad part of this is that they've devoted time, man hours, resources to this, and they're not going to just want to. They're just not going to want to back off from it. If you voted that much time, man hours, and resources to something like this, how easy would you want to say, "Oh, well, it didn't work"? I mean, just being honest, I don't see them doing it. Clayton, do you think? No, I don't see them doing it. Yeah.
No, because if they back off from it, they're already going to give back everything that they've already made today. And I guarantee you they made a few $100,000 today.
Oh, I'm sure they've made money today. No doubt about it. The thing, too, is, we're the vocal voices that, you hear. The thing is... there's a lot of players that don't look at forums or anything. They just play the game and stuff. They're probably going, what the hell is this, if that's the case. There's going to be some players that will never spin in this game. There's going to be players that will always spin in the game. It's the middle, right? It's those players in the middle. How does this affect them? That affects CG's bottom line. So, yeah. Operation Metaverse is hell yes, more positivity. You ain't going to find no positivity here, Dom. You went to the wrong string, brother. The more I see of Datacrons, and so does Clayton, the more angry we're getting by the second, brother. This is shitstorm of shitstorms, man. This is garbage. Absolute garbage. I've never seen anything like this, man. I've seen some crazy shit in this game. I've never seen anything like this. And I was I was pessimistically hopeful, right? I was like, let me really get my hands on it before I really, say anything. They are way worse. I know they could have been way worse. That doesn't mean that they're not bottom of the barrel worse. They're gone. I mean, there is nothing positive about this whatsoever. Now, respect to anybody that thinks it's positive, that this is a good thing. Salute. I respect you. I think you're just terribly wrong on this. There is nothing positive about this. It is nothing but just, God, I hate to say this, greed. It's greed, man. Not enough resources coming to the player base. The limits on the mods, the RNG on the mods. It's just for a temporary thing that's going to have such an impact in TW and GAC. For this to be the thing, it's just absolutely mind-numbing, disconnected from what is going on in this game. I can't get over that fact.
And at the same time,
Dr. Filter just subscribed.
Making literally no concessions to the concerns of the player base at the time of matchmaking or any of that stuff.
Vader's shaking his ass.
Shake it.
There you go. Okay, we're clear.
I mean, like that's the thing that really bothers me is that they made literally no concessions to the player base before implementing this or during that. Is that we are literally going to go into this with the same GAC setups, same TW setups that we had before. If you get matched against an opponent that has more GP than you and more access to Datacrons, kick rocks. Sorry, match over. You lose. If you get matched against some in the TW against a guild that forces spending or forces leveling up, guess what? Their JMK wall is unbeatable by yours because you guys aren't going to force your players to spend $100 to get one Datacron tweaked out perfectly for JMK team. It's just like, and then yeah, it's going to affect the next dozen wars. Like, and then what happens when they start compounding on topping each other? I think we'll have three running at the same time at the pinnacle. When they get everything set up, we'll have three Datacrons running at the same constant time. So you know how much extra, like, you think one's bad with 3 factions available. Well, by the time we get a third, this one we'll only have the 2 sets when this expedition. So we'll have Datacrons that affect 5 different factions,
and we don't know,
and potentially like a dozen different teams.
Yeah, and it's not just that; it's the lower tier Datacrons. Like, for this set, like, if you just want to start getting some started, right, and put them on for the next 3 months, right, for this, even some at level 3 we're talking about with the GLs and how that's just going to, get to the level 5, right? Get to the level 5, get the stats on there. It can make GLs just crazy.
Could have used relic, man. No relic. I mean, the thing too is like they go off and they tell you about how the intention of this is to bring up parts of your roster that are, no longer meta and they want to be viable because you've geared them up. And it's like, sure, but like, then you gate it at relic 3, so that means the majority of the player base isn't going to have that faction there. Like, if you're not kissing 8 million, like, you're not going to be able to have all these different factions at relic. Okay, let's say 8 million, you did go for Ray. All right, you got the Ray team because they're all required. JMK, okay, you can probably make that one work, but do you have the same depth as somebody who's got JMK and then they built up their Qui-Gon team, and they built out a possible Padme team that can work after that, and other bull crap of that nature.
All 2 of them.
Like, that's gonna just adds so much crazy stuff. So much stuff. Inga.
Operation Retiverse World 3. Instead of 3 roles for individual characters, it could have been the entire GR faction. It's set for quantity, can compete with quality for a fraction of the investment.
No, I agree with Operation Metaverse. You
That's
are
gone.
looking at, yeah, I know it's gone. I know it's gone. I should have said gone. I completely agree. The knockout system was money, that allowing you to work your way through, not having to worry about getting everything down the line. That was a good way to have it. There are a lot of things that I can see in there that they did things that were helpful to the player base. But there's a lot of other stuff that we gotta cross before we come down and start looking at the pros of Datacrons. Like, there are things that are very positive about how they've set this up, but I mean, it's just like, I just don't see how players are going to get through it all. If you can only get enough resources a month as a free-to-play player to maybe max 1, I mean, did it really matter if the knockout system was there or not?
I'm sorry, but I'll take 15 line side allies getting 25% turn of the start of the battle over 1 GL1. You can do that, Gom. I mean, if you get the resources and you get the rolls. But at our level, man, shit. If you think that they're not going to have the GL1s and that other shit too, with the way people spend in this game,
have both.
Yeah, why not have you can have your cake and eat it too. So there's that side of it, and then there's the side of if you're more a light spender and stuff, you get what you get. And we already talked about how we do not have enough resources, even through doing Conquest for 2 weeks, comes to 40% of what you need to take one Datacron to level 5. That's, so... At every level, you have a 20% chance to get that roll on every Datacron you start. Similar, there are no dark side rolls for set 2. I'm just telling you, Gom, it's going to get ugly, dude. Kyber 1, brother, look out, brother. I'm just telling you, man, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly, dude. And I'm just not looking forward to it. You can be positive. I love you, buddy, but I just know how this is going to play. And I know it's going to play for players that are already struggling to get two to four GLs, but if they have a Datacron in one, they're going to get destroyed. They're going to get destroyed, and there's already problems with the matchmaking in this game already.
Well,
I did, Sephironis. I did get my booze and tobacco.
Yeah. Level 3 is tolerable to get the alignment stuff.
Sure.
I mean, and sure, you could spread things out a little bit differently. I mean, that's always a possibility. You could spread things out differently for different possible ways to spread out the teams. But I mean, still, it just seems like an asinine way to get players to invest into the game. I can't. I have a hard time.
Yeah.
I don't think GL should be a part of Datacrons. I think the Datacron should have the same exemption that half the Omnis have in the game. When they're present, they shouldn't take effect. Because teams that are already at the pinnacle of power do not need more help.
I don't understand the GL ones at all. It's just, even now, I'm just like, who looked at these characters and said they need these kind of boosts in stats? It's just crazy, dude. And I'm just thinking of how GAC works. You know, that controls a zone. If you have nothing to take that out, that completely controls the zone. And I can get around some of the other stuff that Gom's mentioned. And I can go one character in the south, block him, and keep all my stuff for offense. Okay, they get 25% more turn meter. Sure. But I can still deal with that. I can't deal with a GL like that. I just can't.
Well, but think about how many teams you could make that happen with on the light side faction, though. How many? Let's say you were able to get that 20. Well, but you can force that roll, because on the second, that's one for the next set. They're doing. Oh, that's gonna get gross. Sorry, look at the stats for the next one. They're adding flat damage. Gross. Armor pen, resistance pen, potency, critical damage. Gross. Anyhow, the alignment mechanics, because it's only light side in that one, so you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 1 in 5 chance of getting it. Light side, I start the battle with 25% turn meter. So let's say you get that. Let's just say you take your light side teams and get that. Think of Qui-Gon having 25% turn meter at the start.
Yeah.
Think about Mon Mothma having 25% turn meter at the start. Think about Resistance having 20% turn meter at the start. Think about JML having 25% resistance at the start of the battle. I mean, like, there's just not resistance, but turn meter. I mean, there are so many teams. Dash having 25% turn meter. Bam having 25% turn meter. Like, they're just ridiculous. Now, is that far more achievable? Yeah, you can get a lot more of those Datacrons, get them going. The level 9 ones are maybe looking at the far end of the spectrum there. But I mean, even with that too, is like, you can still only roll so many of these to Relic 9, not Relic 9, but level 3 in that same fashion. I mean, again, it takes 40 of those Mark 1 Akumens, or whatever the heck they're called.
Whatever those things are. Plus the cash.
It's 300,000 cash, that's much more tolerable. But the 40, that's all you get. That's what it takes to get to 1. So a single conquest will give you enough to do 2.5 to level 3. And then if you do that on level to two Datacrons to level 3, you don't have a chance to max out another one unless you spend, or you get really good drops in the conquest.
I'm just looking at the stats here. So the dark sides kind of suck. So light side mechanics. Whenever light side allies start their turn with at least 2 buffs, they can be dispelled. They gain 5% off in stacking. Great. Whenever light side allies gain a buff, they recover 2% health protection. When light side allies daze or stun enemy, they recover 10% health protection. Whenever light side allies inflict at least 4 debuffs on a turn, they have a 10% chance to reduce their cooldowns by 1 for each debuff they inflict. Whenever light side allies start their turn, for each enemy with fewer than 4 debuffs, they gain 30% potency with the end of the turn. Okay. So that's that.
Yeah, we're looking at next month's Datacron for the.
Oh, next
20%.
month's? Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the road ahead stuff.
No, I was just looking at this one, what we got for this one. So, I don't know.
I just looking at all this stuff, I don't understand. I mean, it's like they have one thing that's super overpowered and then a couple things that are kind of mediocre. And then the fact that they just copy and paste. How many light side teams, besides I think maybe like the one that comes to my head right now, which isn't even a light side team because it requires crossing over with Candorus. Like Old Republic's the only team that I know that constantly throws out debuffs on light side.
Yeah.
There's not many on light side that's debuff heavy. So it just feels so lazy. Oh, we're just gonna change it from dark side to light side. Well, that's cool. Does it do anything better for me? Nope.
No, I mean, again, I want CG to make money. I don't think anybody's here. You're again on the wrong stream if you think that we're not about them making money. It's just how they go about it and how they try to pigeonhole the players here with this stuff. Just pisses me off. And if you think I'm negative, fine. I'm negative on this, but I'm also fair. I'm also positive with them when they get stuff right. I've been very positive with CG on a lot of stuff that they've done. So just for this one, I'm gonna say when I think something smells to high heaven, it smells to high heaven. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's well thought out. I don't think it's a good way to do the game. I think it's going to lead to frustration, and we're already seeing it. Players are already dropping like flies. People that I've known to this game for a long time, more than I've ever seen in anything that's happened before, drop. It's like, Jesus. Like, they're just like, okay, I'm out. I don't want to deal with this. So I just don't think this was the answer. There's other things that they could be doing. Someone asked me if they had done the gear things and some of the other stuff and it addressed some of the stuff, would Datacrons be received a little bit differently? Yeah, it would have been. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But I can't get excited for Datacrons. I mean, Nev said this beautifully. How can I get excited for Datacrons for this road ahead and what's being done in the game when you still haven't even finished what you started 8 months ago with the promise you made for gear for players 8 months ago? How can I get excited? How can I be up and happy for this? How can I, and I agree with them 1,000%. How can you make that kind of post, forget about it, not address it, not address some of the other concerns in this game, and then say, okay, here's Datacrons, deal with it, and be happy about it? Yeah, it's what they're going to do. CG's going to commit to this. As I said, they've already spent the resources and time, so we got to deal with it. But it doesn't mean I have to enjoy it. Doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
Yeah. I mean, I can, if I really want to step back.
No, you're fine, Gom. I already told people they better not say crap. You have your opinion, man. Yeah, trust you, you're good, bro. You know how we work here at RSG. We always get the side.
Yeah. Gom, that's where I was. That's exactly where I was at the beginning of this. I was trying to remain net neutral on this, and I can see the positives through that's there, the things that I can take advantage of in my account. But when I start to look at things on the big picture, I just can't help but slide in that negative mindset where I'm just looking at the rest of the people. And the big thing for me is like a lot of my friends that play, they are nowhere near the spenders that I am. And I'm looking at I'm looking at this update and going like, this might make them all quit, which is half the reason I play this game is to play with my friends. It's just like, I'm looking at this going like, oh, that's what starts to tax me more. And that's what I think definitely spins up the negative thought process for me. It's just getting stuck in that mindset of like, it's not just what happens to me and my account, it's what happens to my friends, the people I play with, and all that other stuff. Because it's like, I just don't like it when friends leave because they can't keep up. I mean, and that's just because they can't shill out the cash to make things competitive for themselves. And like, I think that's been the big thing that we've been talking about quite a bit tonight is just the fact that they gated the resources so hard in Datacrons that if there was more accessibility, I think this would be more tolerable. Yeah. But the fact that you can't even get a single one maxed out, well, you can barely get one maxed out by the end of the month. It's not looking good for free-to-play players when it comes to the grand scheme of being competitive. And top-end guilds are going to require X amount of Datacrons. A lot of things are going to You know, a lot of GACs are coming down to who invested more in Datacrons and things of that nature. And I feel like you're just going to watch your friends drop off one by one, getting kicked in the balls by the fact that they're going to go 0-12 GAC because they punched too high. They're fighting accounts they have no business fighting, and we've done nothing to address that. So they're going to get punched in the dick until they finally drop down to somewhere where it's more competitive for them. But by that time, their crystal income might go to hell in a handbasket too. You know, they might have to drop to Kyber 4 or 5 to be competitive. You know, but that's a huge crystal knock too. You know, it's just completely sideways. Like and this is what we were just talking about. They did nothing to alleviate the problems this caused or is going to cause. And so it's like we're getting a new mechanic, a new game mode pushed upon us with absolutely no relief. So it's not like, hey, we get a relief package, we're gonna get more accessibility to relic mats, more accessibility to gear, more accessibility to other things that we need, mod materials and everything else we need to power up our accounts. It's like no, just work on Datacrons. We might give you those by the time we released Relic 10 and 2 more GLs and the next capital ship. Then we might see about giving you guys some relief. Just like, all right, well, just admit that you want to try to clamp my wallet for everything that it's worth and get it over with, because that way I can just quit the game tomorrow and be done with it. Like, I don't want to be drug out for 3 months trying to hold on for hope. That sucks.
Yeah. And it's disappointing because like we've worked so hard on these accounts and stuff, and then one fell swoop, Datacrons has completely changed the game. And other stuff has changed the game to a degree. You know, mods changed the game back in the day, and we adjusted, but it was very specific on what mods did, and we could adjust pretty decently to what mods were. And you know, it took us some time, but you know, hard work, effort, commitment to the game, we got through it. Same thing with Relics. When Relics first came in, people were like, "Oh Jesus," and it was a pushing point for some of that. You know, and so, but we got through it. You know, we worked hard. We got through what we needed to do, and people started figuring out things for GAC and whatnot. We got through the relics and figured out what it is. It's still ridiculous, you know, for the stuff you need for 6, 7, 8, and 9, especially. But you know, we're dealing with it. But it's not fun. I've never seen anything like this. This is crazy. Yeah, TWs will be interesting to say the least. GOM is an understatement. TWs are going to be. I didn't even want to do TW, man.
I think the first one I might try to suss it out and help my guild, but I think I literally might just be like, you know what? All GLs and offense. We'll throw down a couple good walls and hopefully steal banners and make them think we got something in the back. But it's going to come down to the executive fleet zone. Like, that's where they're going to lose all their efficiency. So, screw it. Let's go have fun.
I just don't know how TW officers are going to plan. How do you plan for this? Even if everybody just has like the level 3 on all their teams, it really changes some dynamics on some of these teams and stuff for offense and defense. How do you even track that? Like, how do you even begin to track that kind of stuff? And then how do you go and tell someone, normally in a TW, you get a raid wall, you kind of know what your counters are depending on what they put down and what you have available, have a pretty decent idea of like how you're going to attack that. But with Datacrons in there, every single one of those teams is going to be a mind-numbing exercise and try to figure out who's got what to go beat this. And for a TW officer trying to figure out the intricacies of this, oh my God.
Well, think about it this way, though. Think about every single Momo team having that 25% TN gain at the start.
Oh, God.
Not only do you have to pray, like it used to be before, like, I might be able to sneak in between Kyle Katarn and the next character if I don't quite outrun it, or, you know, maybe I can sneak in with Kyle Katarn. Kyle Katarn's not got a 55% turn meter gain at the start of the battle. You're not running that. I'm sorry. I don't care what you mod. The only GL that you're going to need JMK to beat, not to beat it, but you're going to need JMK to fight that. You know, or something that prevents turn meter gain, like so maybe a Huck, something like that. There are options. I mean, there are out there, but they get incredibly limited. So a single misstep on your defensive planning, a single misstep on your offensive calls throughout the zones, and you could absolutely hose yourself on a wall that everyone has that Omicron, a level 3 Omicron that grants 25% turn meter at the beginning of the fight for light side allies.
Yeah, imagine that for Mary Jade.
Well, she can't because she's not light side. But yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
But I mean, I
eventually
get the
something
idea.
like
If they do a dark side version of it, yes, you'd be correct. But I mean, the Omicron again, and this is this thing that too is like you're invalidating half the Omicrons that you get out there because of this Datacron. Your counters that would work one way don't work anymore. Sorry, reading meow.
I know.
Yeah,
Gom should get on the stream, no pants, unfiltered. He better not. I've seen naked Gom, shirtless Gom. Already had chicken.
Yeah, you're right, Kaya. Sorry, I was thinking of our Mara Jade getting that. But I mean, the thing is, though, Kaya, is most guilds would put Mara Jade with EP and Juhani and Starkiller and Visas. So, you know.
Well, I've seen Gom in his brief, so yeah. Unfortunately, that's a thing. That's a true statement.
I haven't yet, so let's not break that seal. I watch you on stream, Gom. I don't want to see anything below the waist.
I just, you don't know. Now I can say, Meow Meow, with full conviction and authority that I was not thinking of that. Still not. Yeah, no pants Gom is a level 9 Datacron, pretty much. That's science.
That would be hilarious.
Hilarious. Well,
I just have a hard time with it. That's all. I'm looking at things on the large scale, and that's what starts to worry me. I'm like, think about TWs when you have all 3 Datacrons running at the same time. How much of a pain in the ass that will be to keep track of for your TW officers and everybody else that's involved. Like, that just sounds like asinine levels of stress that I don't need in my life. I will go somewhere else or just straight up not join TWs if they just becomes that level of hectic. I won't care. Zeta Mats be damned. I'll just join and take the second place rewards. I don't even care. We'll just lose.
No, just lose. John Moran question: when they revamp this in a few months, can they just make this faction relics instead? I don't know what they do. Like I said, they're here. They're here to stay. We already made that point earlier that CG's already committed the time, resources, manpower, everything to this. They think it's a good thing. We've listed all the reasons why it's not a good thing, but they're still going to do it. We'll adapt like we always do. I won't enjoy it. I won't like it. I'm not a big fan of this. I'm against this completely. It's not something we asked for, not something we needed, not something that was needed to bring brought to this game. It's just not. So, but we'll do the best we can with it. I mean, there's not much more we can do. It's adapt or die. Either adapt or quit. It's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's going to be how that shakes loose in the long run.
Yeah, it's adapt or quit. That's what it comes down to. You have to adapt and see what you can make out of it. Whether I want to or not, I have to. If I want to be somewhat competitive in GAC and try to get crystals, not much of a choice here with this account. I could just not give a shit anymore and just stop playing GAC.
Basically, just go in do your last hurrah and call it, and then go, second place rewards or last place rewards.
I'll take last place rewards. I'm just done.
I know it's a lot more doom and gloom than we really got to get into it, because I mean, until things get fully rolled out, we run into players that do whale. We're taking a hard negative on the global aspect of what Datacrons are. Your personal experience might differ because you might get a GAC week where nobody put anything into Datacrons. You lucked into players that didn't want to do it, or you might get one where everyone but you did it. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we could take away at the end of the day where it's like, I won't be as bad, but still the key takeaway from this is that this is not a version Datacrons this game needs. This needs a much more refined process that's not nearly as RNG, that's a little bit more regulated, and a little bit more accessible. Like, we should not be cutting players out to 1. That just sounds stupid. And it's just like, and we were looking at the cost on those things. I mean, don't change the crystal cost. I don't give a crap. If you want to spend 10,000 crystals to max out a freaking Datacron, go for it. I don't care. But don't sit there and be like, well, it's the only way you're going to get a second one. Like, that's the part that bothers me, is that it's like, well, if you want a second Datacron at level 9 this month, break out the purse. But that's the part where I just start to go, like, I don't like it. Like, I like spending in the game. I have a good time doing it. I enjoy my account.
May go, what I may do, just because I want to test this out on GAC, is go for a max Datacron and then a second Datacron, like level 3 on something, just to just to see how it plays, right? Just to get some feedback on it. But top. Hopefully, I drop out of the top 500.
I am in the same boat. I'm hoping I get.
Can I drop to like 700-800? That'd be great. Can you squish me? Can I get squished to like 700, 800, 900? I'd be fine with that because it's still gonna get the same crystals. I
get squished to like 7,000.
Yeah, that'd be good too. Can you squish me much lower so I can still get like the crystals, but not have to worry about it as much? Because no.
Yeah.
I know what I'm about to face in GAC. I'm like, hey, how many Datacrons? 6!
Yeah.
I'm really thinking I'm changing my whole defensive strategy in GAC. I just may go efficiency because there's just no point in trying to play hard defense on this. I mean, depending on what I get for Datacrons and stuff, I got to really rethink this whole thing now.
You're gonna have to look at what your opponent has and gamble. Are they gonna put that on defense or offense? Like it. Like, granted, I mean, I understand the point, like that they want. Like, I'm in this duality state of like, if they wanted to limit Datacrons to where you either go wide and you get a bunch of things to level 3, or you go narrow and take one to level 9. I would understand that. But the fact that they made it so easy and accessible to basically pay to have a Datacron basically to level 9 like every 3 days. I think the store refreshes every 24 hours, and it takes a store and a half roughly to take one to level 9. So average that out to every 3 days to level 9. I mean, that's still 2.5 per week. So over the course of the month, you're easily going to have 10 level 9 Datacrons.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going against somebody who's willing to spend that kind of money to get Datacrons, it makes the pay to win aspect so blatantly clear. That's what starts to drive me mad. Is like, I could easily win GAC and be number 1 in the game. Your mods be damned. If I go balls to the walls in Datacron, and I'm willing to spend $1,000 a month refining and upgrading and taking those to new heights.
Mm-hmm.
Because my B level teams are going to be much harder for you to face, because they're going to just be stupid thick. They're going to have stupid mechanics. They're going to have characters on that team that is just going to destroy what you try to do to it offensively.
Yeah.
I keep looking down the cascading reasons of why, and it just gets to the point where I'm just like, pay to win is just blatant. I mean, they might as well put it Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes pay to win at this junction. I mean, it's that blatant. If you want to spend money in this game to be at the top, you can now.
Yeah.
Because mods were the defining factor for a long time. That separated people who wailed versus people who had skill and put investment into their mods and then things of that nature. But now with Datacrons, you can elevate teams to ungodly levels without having to have either. I mean, well, spending for the relic level, sure, but no, you don't need great mods anymore. Just 60-year mods. Have a great time. Go kick butt. Like, it's literally like leveling the playing field back for the whales that don't want to spend money on modding things. They just want to just have everything and win. And I don't like it. I think it's so stupid.
Yeah, but the thing about the top 100 though is that you can have people with way less GP but have been really focused. Like, one of the players that I always look at is Fatal. Fatal is always mismatched in GP and relics and stuff like that, but he wins the vast majority of his stuff because he's just a good player. He takes what he's got and he just runs with it. Yeah, he spends, but he's not spending like some of these other players, grossly out GP'd, and he kicks ass. So in that sense, GSC to me has got to GAC's gotten to a point where it's come down to skill, understanding the mechanics. You know, at certain times you get missed when all things are even, right? It's skill based. When things are uneven, right? Then it's not. It's just who's got the bigger count. You know, I always look at Fatal as the shining example. Him and Calvin do a great job of that. Win the vast majority of their GAC matches, and they do more with less. Now I don't know how they're going to handle this. You know, with everything, it's going to be interesting to see. We're going to see what's going to happen, and I just think it's going to lead to more frustration, more anger, more angst that's already there. I mean, you go in there like again, you know, take on a Ray with your C. You see that Datacron, you know you're toast. You have no chance in hell. You have no chance in hell of taking on that sunset sucker. Racing there, you're like, I got nothing for that. Nothing. It's like, good God, and gravy. It's like, that's grossy. That's so grossy. And that really frustrates me because, you know, these Ray Omicrons and JMK, the JMK Omicron is just stupid. God, that team. Every time I think of the stats on that thing, and we got Jedi Luke and Jedi Master Luke coming around the corner too, just like Jesus Christ, and all this shit's going to overlap, so it's going to get out of hand, dude.
Yeah, I mean, think of the level 3 ones from the next one. Lysa Alistair with 25% turn meter. You just go get a bunch of Datacrons, and then you're willing to spend to get, you know, let's say 5 Datacrons with just the level 3 ability, the 20% turn meter at the start. That is gonna just trounce rosters. I mean, like, accounts that would I mean, like, yeah, just like dash teams having 20% more speed or BAM team 25% more speed. It's just, oh my goodness, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to think about how much is gained just on that mechanic alone, let alone anything else you start factoring in with the previous stuff. It's just, it seems so crazy. I like GOM, free to pay for life. Yeah, free to pay. That's what your FTP means, right? Free to pay.
All right, we'll go a few more minutes here, top of the hour, and then we're gonna shut it down because now just as a heads up, guys. Next couple days, I got something that came up that. I might get a stream in, but it'll be later in the day. It won't be at the normal bat time. So we'll probably do a Thursday night stream and a Friday night stream. Probably no lunch stream for the next 2 days. I got some stuff I got to take care of. So I'm not going to be available at that time to stream. It's just real life. You got to do it. Something came up. I got to handle it. So for the next 2 days during the lunch stream will not be a thing. So just giving you guys a heads up. But yeah, we'll probably get one maybe in Thursday night. We'll do Conquest, hang out with everybody, and then Friday night. But if you have any other questions or comments, feel free. Woo-woo.
Yeah. I mean, and I think I'm just gonna not think about Datacrons for a little while. I'm gonna get through Conquest. I'm gonna just focus on getting Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, we got to get through this.
Got to get through Malgus, and then I'm just gonna see how this shakes loose. And like we've said for a lot of times today, guys, if you have constructive feedback to give the CG, go do it. Don't be vile. Don't be hateful. Give them what the problem is and possible solutions. You know,
if you have any. Gone question. Do we know if the stat boots are applied pre or post mods?
Post.
No, pre. Remember we did. No, yeah. So it goes
post mods.
Yeah, we got something.
Post mods pre battle.
Yeah, post mods pre battle. So it goes in order of operation. It's stars, gear, level. Then it goes mods. Then it goes Datacrons. Then the battle happens, and then all the boosts from Unicrons, Datacrons, anything like that gets applied on top of that. Which is insane. Absolutely insane.
Gom, I'll post you the rip right from SWGOH events from Meathead earlier in your general chat. But he listed Meathead listed the operation for Datacrons. So some GLs are going to get out of control, especially under the next month's Datacron. Looking at you, JML.
Oh my God! If you hit the protection stuff, which I don't know why you wouldn't even roll and keep rolling for protection, because that's just going to make him and the Jedi. Oh God!
Well, so here's the thing. Actually, there is to a degree that won't work, because I was looking, now that I'm going back and looking at it.
Okay.
They do not have the protection for that month.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So no protection.
So they have,
Perfect.
but it's not better, because these characters will instead gain physical offense between 5 to 10%, special offense between 5 to 10%, armor penetration between 35 and 50%, penetration between 35 and 50%, health steal between 60 and 100, potency between 15 and 25, and critical damage between 5 and 10. And that's the level 1 tier. Now, when you get to the bottom tier at 7 and 8, the physical damage is between 20 and 30%, armor penetration between 70 and 100%, critical damage between 20 and 30, potency between 40 and 60, health steal between 160 and 240%. So granted, yes, you will not be able to make JML crazy high protection. They thankfully clearly noticed that that would not work in this setup. But still, like CLS with 30% bonus physical damage. Yay! And you can get it twice. Yay! 50% bonus damage for CLS. Yay! It's gonna be amazing. But yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Because I mean, think of some of these things with like just stupid like Rogue One having this bonus damage or special damage or armor penetration or not rebels, rebel fighters, or the Akbar Army team. Jesus Christ, that sounds insane. The Akbar Army team with the 20% turn meter. Oh my God, that would be delicious. I'd love that. I mean, granted, I'm looking at it, I can utilize some of the Datacrons, but still, it's just there are things with it that's kind of crazy. Kind of cray. Yeah, see, but the thing is, Ray, the thing I hate about them requiring the ally tokens is it's taking away from converting them to shard shop currency. So you can't convert your ally tokens to shard shop currency for gear. You got to save it now for Datacron stuff. So it's only further exasperating the gear problem in the game, because you're burning up your shard shop currency and your ally token, which is converts to shard shop currency,
right,
for Datacrons instead of for gear. So, like, you know, for me,
and they're
not
expensive.
the end of the world.
I did some today, and it's like 50,000, 100,000 for this stuff. It's yeah, it's a little pricey. It's a little pricey. Luckily, I had some of those, but they'll disappear quite quick. Look at that, 50K just for 25. That's a lot. I got 210,000 left now. So, I mean, and I used some of those, but those will go by quick, and you don't get them that fast. So you may be able to use some of them for that, but if you're not in a position where you still have gear to work on, especially for that right side gear stuff, man, or just any Gear 12 stuff, man, it's really hard to say use your ally tokens for that when you can get so much stuff out of there that you could use for the shard store that you really need more. In my opinion,
that's all I'm saying is it just exasperates the problem further, that they are pulling away resources away from gear to another currency that does not help you gear characters or relic characters. Like this is the things we were talking about earlier. They did nothing to address the problems the players are currently going to have, and this only exasperates others. And like that, like we were saying, what Datacrons would probably be far better received if we had anything to alleviate these issues prior to the launch of this. And I will be lucky if we maybe see something by the summer that alleviates the issues here.
Yeah.
But CG's tactic has always been whatever generates income first, free shit later. And then we might get some of it. We'll see. We don't know for certain.
We'll have to wait and see, but folks, I mean, we're going to have to play this out. It's just, as I said, not a big fan of Datacrons. Sad day. Just a sad day. I wish it wasn't. I mean, this day was not the day that I expected nor wanted in SWGOH. This is not how I expected this day to go. I didn't expect that. The way I had my day scheduled was not the way that I expected this to play out. So, you know, Jesus, not like this. Not like this, Clay. Not like this, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah. Not fun. Not gonna like it. I mean, I'll find a way to enjoy it, but that's because I'm in a position where I can. But that's not the mindset I'm trying to take with this, because I'm in a position where I can enjoy this mechanic because I'm in a position where I have access to quite a bit of it. But most players are not going to have my level of access, which is a problem. Like, why put a new mechanic that's so wildly limiting, and then I don't know. I can beat this horse till it's dead, and we already have about 4 or 5 times already. So
yeah. So, all right, we're gonna wrap it up, folks. So with that, remember tomorrow, pass it on to everybody that the lunch stream will be delayed tomorrow, late afternoon, probably evening. We'll get a stream tomorrow night and Friday night. We'll do happy hour, and we'll do tomorrow. We'll do conquest and stuff. But I got stuff in the day I got to get done. So I will not be available for the lunch stream the next 2 days. Sorry. We'll have a late lunch stream. I'll do it on YouTube. We'll do it on YouTube.
He's doing some apple picking.
Yeah, I got to go pick some apples in this 100+ degree heat. With them thunderstorms and tornadoes coming in the evening time. Woohoo! So
I mean, at this point, all you gotta do is run to the trees with the basket, though. They'll fall off the tree themselves.
I mean, there you go. So
that's why it's important to do it right now, because it's less effort, just more cardio.
All right, ladies and gentle germs, thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your night. Be safe. We love you guys, and we'll holler at you later. Peace out.
Take care, folks.